Coca-Cola. There may be no other product that reaches more of mankind.
1.6 million times a day, a consumer reaches for a Coca-Cola product.
It all starts with a secret formula. Coke sends that secret formula to hundreds of bottling factories around the world. Those factories need containers by the millions. The volume is staggering. The speeds are blinding. To put Coca-Cola in easy reach of nearly every human being on Earth, you need ultimate factories. $670 billion. That's the kind of business the global non-alcoholic ready-to-drink beverage industry does every year. The largest player in that business is the Coca-Cola Company, with a massive worldwide presence.
We operate in over 206 countries. That's more countries than the UN.
The company's best-selling beverage is original trademark Coca-Cola. The planet consumes nearly 800 million servings a day. Coke says the product reaches 99% of mankind. Despite its worldwide presence, the company itself makes primarily one thing: the highly condensed beginnings of the drink known as beverage concentrate. But Coke won't say exactly where they make the concentrate, nor will they allow the modern-day filming of its manufacturing processes.
The formula for Coca-Cola may be the most closely guarded secret in the history of American commerce.
The ingredients are listed, but there's one that's purposely vague: natural flavors.
Those are things which have come from nature, from many different sources of plants, or vegetables, or things like that. That's actually the most closely guarded trade secret in the world, so we don't actually say what they are.
Coke ships its secret concentrate to over 900 bottling plants all over the world, most of them independently owned. One of the newest bottling plants is the Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company in Louisiana. Coke has been bottled in Baton Rouge since 1906, but this facility began production in 2009. The factory works 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. It can make and package 4.5 million servings a day. The bottler's first job is to transform the concentrate into a finished soft drink by diluting it with water, then adding sweetener and carbonation. These 2 tubs of concentrate will make nearly 500,000 liters of Coca-Cola. The people who handle the concentrate are as in the dark about the secret formula as anyone.
I've been working here 7 years now. I don't know what's in the formula. All my job is to load it up and send it to the line and let them run it.
The Coke they make has to taste the same as Coke made by other bottlers around the world. It's a challenge because the bottlers provide Coca-Cola's main ingredient, water. The drink is about 90% water. Water can taste different depending on the source. This plant gets its water from on-site wells. In the plant, they sanitize the water and put it through a nano-filtration process.
The objective of the treatment process is to make the water as neutral as possible, to make sure that there's no taste and odor carryover from our source.
The Coca-Cola Company also counts on its bottlers to add Coke's second main ingredient, the sweetener. In most of the world, the sweetener is sugar, but in the United States, it's high fructose corn syrup. Coke says they use the sweetener because it's more readily available in the U.S. market. U.S. corn subsidies and tariffs on imported sugar have also made high fructose corn syrup cheaper than sugar. They pump the sweetener, concentrate, and water into a 19,000-liter tank to create a syrup that's more than 50% sweetener. Out on the bottling line, they dilute that syrup 5.5 more times with water, then pump in CO2 through a closed system to carbonate the beverage. Now they're ready to pump the Coke into containers. Lots of containers. but those are made at another factory. Bottlers mainly use 3 types of containers: plastic bottles, aluminum cans, and glass bottles. 50% of all Coca-Cola products are delivered in polyethylene terephthalate bottles, PET for short.
PET is a plastic, it's a form of polyester. So a lot of people are familiar with polyester fibers for clothing. That's the family which PET comes from.
PET bottles may be lightweight, but they also have to be strong. The carbonated beverages they hold are under pressure.
Your car tire is roughly, 32 psi or thereabouts. This bottle will hold well over 50 psi.
Sparkling beverages demand a special manufacturing process to make a seamless plastic bottle.
The manufacturing of a plastic bottle is a 2-stage operation. We're going to injection mold a preform, and then we're going to reheat and stretch flow it into a bottle.
To make the preform, the factory pumps PET pellets down a hose into an injection molding machine. Inside this machine, a corkscrew-like auger forces the pellets into a heater. The heater is about 290 degrees Celsius, enough to melt the pellets. Then the machine injects that liquid plastic into a mold. The mold forms the first stage of the PET bottle, the preform. A robot removes the preforms from the mold and passes them to another robot. These robots cool the preforms before they're dropped on the conveyor. The factory has 15 of these yellow injection molding machines. Together, they can make over 500,000 preforms every hour. The preforms look more like test tubes than bottles at this point, but the top is complete. One little noticed but critical part of the top is called the support ledge.
We actually use this support ledge to carry the preform throughout the blow molding process. And as it gets into its bottle state, the filler is going to hold it and support it here during the filling operation.
The preforms tumble down until a groove catches them by the support ledge. Think of preforms as uninflated balloons that will be blown into bottles. The problem is, the preforms are too hard to inflate. To make them flexible, they cycle through a heater that takes them to 115 degrees Celsius. Now the preforms are soft enough to be inflated like plastic balloons. Gears transport them by their support ledges toward the molds. These are the stainless steel molds that will give the preforms their bottle shape. Once installed, each mold will make 2 bottles. These molds are liquid cooled. Cold water enters through the blue hose. Warm exhaust water leaves through the red hose.
Make sure all your lines are all correctly, not going to fall off, all your fasteners down. Then we'll rotate the machine, do the next mold.
This machine holds 20 molds, each making 2 bottles. Every revolution produces 40 bottles. As the preforms enter the mold, you can't see inside, but here's what happens. The heated preform is loaded. Then a metal rod drops down and stretches it. Low pressure air expands the preform. Then a high pressure burst of air inflates the preform until it hits the edge of the mold. The edge of that mold is icy cold because of the chilled water being piped into it. It's that cold metal that sets the bottle shape.
Once that bottle hits the outer edge of this mold, it's completely set and it's ready to go.
The machine makes almost 800 bottles a minute, and every one gets its picture taken. These images are taken through the bottle's neck and analyzed by a computer. Bottles that don't measure up are recycled. The ones that make it take flight. The journey begins as the bottle is once again grabbed by its support ledge. It's not a conveyor, it's an airveyor, because this system is powered by air.
What we have are intake fans located at certain distances. The intake fans they get filtered air. The air chamber pressure stays around 3 to 5 millibar. Inside we have directional bends cut to force the air in the direction of the flow of the bottle.
The airveyor moves the lightweight bottles down the line faster than a conventional conveyor belt. The bottles whiz down more than a kilometer of airveyor track until they reach the end of the line, the palletizer. A pair of robots stacks them into a pallet. In less than 24 hours, these bottles are rushed 270 kilometers to the Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, where they'll be filled with the iconic beverage. Before the bottles on this pallet can be filled with Coca-Cola, they need to be put in single file order. The first step, a machine known in the industry as a depalletizer. Yellow lines on the conveyor mark splits in the belt. Some sections run faster than others, helping to put the bottles into single file. They take flight on the airveyor, once again held by the bottle's support ledge. Then they're gripped and flipped. They get a blast of ionized air to clear out any debris and neutralize any built-up static charge. The bottles are on their final airveyor journey to the filling room. In here, the filling happens at up to 800 bottles per minute. The challenge is to get a pressurized beverage into the bottles quickly. To see it happen, it helps to slow down the process.
First thing the filler valve does is pressurizes that bottle to equal the pressure in the filler bowl.
It takes a full revolution of the wheel to fill a bottle. The Coca-Cola going in is ice cold.
This filler runs anywhere between 36, 38 degrees, and that keeps the product stable. Hot product foams. You can't keep it in the bottle.
As the bottles come off the valve, they're depressurized.
You have to depressurize it, equalize it so that it doesn't spew out when it comes off.
Even so, the beverage seems to want to spew out as the filler resumes its top speed of 800 bottles a minute. The best thing to contain the pressure? Caps. Lots of them. The plant has more than 3 kilometers of conveyor systems. Why such a long conveyor? To create buffers on the line should some stations slow down or stop. Some parts of the conveyor system form holding areas during backups. Once the backup is resolved, the holding area is released and bottles continue their journey. One area that might suffer from a backup, the labeler. But today it's running fine. Bottles are gripped by the cap as the machine puts the labels on. Now they head for the wildest ride in the factory, the spiral conveyor. The spiral takes the bottles 5.5 meters high. The aerial conveyor frees up space on the factory floor. At the end of the line, they get a few hard knocks to orient them into a pallet layer. Once the pallet reaches 7 layers, it's a wrap. The plant has 2 plastic bottling lines for sparkling beverages.